Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stuart For Real Edmonton Oilers TikTok channel, where we talk all Edmonton Oilers here. And of course, if you got any other comments or questions about other teams, I will do my best to answer those questions to the best of my ability as well too. We've got fans from across the league. As you can see, Zach, the Leafs fan, he's always here, and obviously you can tell he roots for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I ain't got no beef with that, but here we are. Edmonton Oilers have some cap space room. What are they going to do? We got a few notable free agents at the moment right now. Let's have a look at it. We got Justin Schultz, former Edmonton Oiler. I've talked about him in length on the past few lives. Tyson Barrie, another former Toronto Maple Leaf, Zach the Leafs fan, and obviously a former Edmonton Oiler, and former Nashville Predator, because they don't want to re-sign this guy. Kevin Shattenkirk, Tony DeAngelo, which... good luck. I don't think anybody wants to sign Tony DeAngelo. I think guy's got an attitude problem or something. Mark Giordano, as good as he's been, obviously past his prime. And then we've got Marco Scandella, who I didn't even realize was around. Have a look at the colors of his jersey. Former St. Louis Blue. But nobody picking him up. So these are some of the top 6 defensemen available right now. Unrestricted free agents. And just waiting to see if they can sign a professional tryout, a PTO, with a team in the league. Who's it going to be? In my opinion, man, when you look at this list, a lot of good notable names here, but in my opinion, I don't know, man. I would love to see Justin Schultz get a chance to redeem himself in oil country, man. I felt like he was treated unfairly during the decade of darkness. He was booed out of town, not given a fair shake. And then what does he go on to do? He goes on to have a great career. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champions with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and had an okay couple of years with the Seattle Kraken. His minus rating is not good, so maybe that's why this past season they decided, you know what, we're going to move on from Justin Schultz. But hey, man, if they're done with Justin Schultz, I think this is a guy the Oilers could pick up. Most certainly give this guy a PTO and see if he can make the team. Because quite frankly, I think Justin Schultz could be better than the Oilers' bottom 3 defensemen, in my opinion, obviously. So I think the guy deserves a shot. But at the same time, we don't want to discredit the new guys that Stan Bowman has brought in Ty Emberson, Josh Brown, and of course Troy Stetcher, who hasn't had much of an opportunity to play. Obviously, having to go through surgery, didn't get a chance to play in the postseason because of that. And obviously, he's going to be lobbying for a spot on the main roster. But what other moves should the Oilers make? When you look at this list, in my opinion, I would pick Justin Schultz. You guys let me know from this list who you would pick in the comments, and we'll get to all of your comments and questions in just a moment here. So, yeah, let me know, guys. Who do you guys think, in my opinion? I'm saying Schultz. I think Schultz deserves a chance to redeem himself. What a story that would be to rejoin the Edmonton Oilers and win a Stanley Cup. I mean, you could argue the same case for Tyson Barrie. We're going to have a look at his stats as well, too, and you guys can give me your take. I've got both of them prepared for you. Justin Schultz, Tyson Barrie. We're going to have a look at their stats, and you guys tell me what you think. They're actually quite similar. Tyson Barrie, obviously a bit of a longer career, a couple of more years in the league, and quite frankly has had a better run. But Justin Schultz also a Stanley Cup champion as well, too. So let's get to some comments here. J. Rose says Justin Schultz for the Oilers. Kubra Media says Barrie is a beauty. The locker room loved him. Yeah, great locker room guy. I agree with that. Zach the Leafs fan says Mark Giordano would like him back on the Leafs. Well, the Leafs, I don't know. Leafs haven't re-signed him, and it doesn't look like they're going to. Penny says Addison. Noodle Muncher says Barrie. A lot of Barrie fans. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to Tyson Barrie coming back. Tyson, obviously greeting with Tyson Barrie. Hunter Calgary, what's up, bro? I can always rely on Hunter Calgary to join the live as he provides a lovely rose. Hopefully everybody feels generous and wants to do the same. I would really appreciate it. If not, hey man, let's get some likes going on the live. We only got about 6 likes on the live. Come on, guys. We want to encourage more people to join this live. The only way we can do that is if you double tap the screen in unison. I need your help doing that, guys. For everybody else watching on the outside, don't be afraid. This is a safe place. Tap on that live, join the live. That's the only way you can have more fun on this live, so I can answer all of your comments and questions. I can't answer any of them if you don't join the live. So go ahead, tap on that screen and join this live, and this way you can have some fun here with us. Let's get to some more questions. Cooper Media, who wins in a fight, Spectre or Stauffer? I'm taking Bob Stauffer all day. I think he would mop the floor with Mark Spector. But that's an interesting question. Jordan Thomas, I personally think your Oilers need a backup goalie. Well, Jordan Thomas, my Edmonton Oilers do have a backup goalie. His name is Pickles, bro. Calvin Pickard just signed a 2-year deal with the Edmonton Oilers, and I think, quite frankly, he proved himself. So maybe you haven't watched a lot of Oilers hockey, but if you watch the games where Calvin Pickard played, this guy was sensational. He was sensational. Even backed up Stuart Skinner in the playoffs as well, too. Had a couple of games and rose to the occasion. So quite frankly, I think Calvin Pickard has earned himself as a solid 1B for the Edmonton Oilers. And I think our goalie tandem looks pretty good. And we've known Stuart Skinner to be very streaky, off to a terrible start. And Calvin Pickard can walk right in there and have a solid game and back him up until Stewie gets his confidence back. But I'm really hoping things are different for Stuart Skinner this time around, and hopefully he can just start off good, man. Hopefully he can just start off good and not have that bad stretch of games to start off the season like we saw last season. 70s guy, Canadian style. I am a time traveler from the year 24-24 Leafs. Stanley Cup, nada. Poor Maple Leafs. Poor Maple Leafs. Tom Cook, 495. Oilers should sign Schultz to a mini contract. I agree. 1-year deal. 1-year deal for either of these guys is all I think you would need to do. So is it Justin Schultz? Is it Tyson Barrie? Is it Kevin Shattenkirk, which I don't kind of mind. I'm actually kind of surprised this guy's not been signed to a team already. Tony DeAngelo. You know what? Honestly, when I look at this list, Tony DeAngelo is probably the most talented defenseman on this list. But dude, just nobody likes him. He's got an attitude problem. I don't think we need that cancer in the locker room. People, could have argued the same about Evander Kane, but that hasn't been the case with Evander Kane. He's been a great locker room guy, great guy in the community, and I just don't see that from a guy like Tony DeAngelo. So I think we should stay away. I give the X to Tony DeAngelo. I think that would be wrong move. Wrong move. I don't think we need him. Mark Giordano, on the other hand, this guy's a league veteran. But he's not as good as he was. It wouldn't be bad to have him on the back end. You could maybe compare him to maybe having Duncan Keith on the back end like the Edmonton Oilers had. Duncan Keith towards the end of his career. Mark Giordano is getting pretty close. He's getting pretty close there. And Marco Scandella, I don't know. I don't think I would pick him. So for me, I think it's between Justin Schultz, Kevin Shattenkirk, Tyson Barrie. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we got to move on from Tyson Barrie, but I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset if the Oilers picked up Tyson Barrie. And then I wouldn't be upset with Mark Giordano either. I think that's another veteran presence that the Edmonton Oilers could use. So I think Mark Giordano could bring something to the Oilers blue line there. Leadership, of course. And Oilers have lots of that. They have lots of that already in that locker room. But I don't think Mark Giordano would make the Oilers a worse team. If anything, I think he would make them a better team, in my opinion, just because of the leadership that this guy has. And of course, he's on the hunt for a Stanley Cup. It did not happen with the Calgary Flames or, of course, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sorry, Maple Leaf fans. Sorry. But maybe he wants to complete his destiny by joining the Edmonton Oilers. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Giordano scores a PTO with the Edmonton Oilers. You never know, bro. You never know, man. Let's get to some more comments here. Sergeant 501 Street, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for sharing the live. Guys, you got to do what Sergeant 501 Street just did. Click on that share button. Share this live. Share this live with your friends list so we can get more people on here. It's free to do so, so I would appreciate your help doing that. King Joe Haynes III says, I don't know why, but I could see Scandella in an Oilers jersey. It's possible. It's possible. Clayton Panther, Dahan on the Canes is going to be a trade candidate. 70s guy, Canadian style. If you were 30 the last time the Leafs won the Cup, you would now be 87 years old. Okay, that's a very interesting stat from 70s guy. Tom Cook, Shaddy was so bad last year on the Bruins from a Bruins fan, so it looks like Shattenkirk is past his prime as well too. So maybe that's why he hasn't been re-signed either. Tom Cook, thanks for that. Clayton Panther, Tyson will also gain value here again. You know what? Yeah, maybe Tyson Barrie, he's got something to prove. If he wants to come back to Edmonton because he wanted to finish the story with the Edmonton Oilers, could you imagine he comes back, Oilers sign him at league minimum or $1 million, whatever it is. What's going on? What's going on, Ash? Ash with the lovely heart there. I appreciate that, Ash. Thank you so much for doing that, Ash. One of our subscribers on this channel. Your benefits are about to expire soon. Just a heads up. Travis Travis with a lovely rose. I appreciate that. He takes over first place in the live there. I appreciate that, Travis. Bradley says Marco would be a good addition. So a few people rooting for Marco Scandella. Okay, that being said, guys, why don't we have a look at the stats here, and you can make a decision for yourself here. Let me know what you think. Why don't we start things off here with Justin Schultz. This is the guy that I've been talking about for weeks now, and all of a sudden I'm looking on social media now, people are talking about Justin Schultz. Yeah, you're welcome, everybody. I started talking about him first. McDry, what's going on, bro? What's up, McDry? Here we are. So Justin Schultz, like I said, not amazing with the Seattle Kraken. This is probably why they decided not to re-sign him, and they wanted to go in a different direction. Travis, thank you for the dinosaur. Ash, thank you for extending your 1 month subscription. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Ash. I made it very, very affordable now as well, too. It's like $3 or whatever it is, or $6. I don't know. Whatever discount TikTok gives you for your first month. But thank you. Thank you, Ash. I appreciate that. I wish more people would consider subscribing like Ash, guys. It's very simple to do. If you're 18 years of age or older and you'd like to join this live and ask me questions live on here, you can do that. You can send a guest request. I'll accept your guest request, but you must be a subscriber on the channel and you must be 18 years of age or older. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. So I highly encourage you, if you've been thinking about it for quite some time, man, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid? Just go ahead and do it, even if it's just for 1 month. And I promise you, I can bring you on the show as much as you would like. Not just the one time. As many times as you want for that month when we're live, I can do that, except when I'm out there working with Sports Interaction, doing interviews. So anyways, McDry, thank you for the TikTok. I appreciate that. So let's have a look here. McDry with another lovely rose. McDry wants to take over first place there. And then here he is. So this is his overall stats. 324 points overall. McDry, thank you for the GGG. Gang. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that, man. In 745 games, a minus 57. Eee. That's not good. That's not good. But 324 points, not bad. 71 goals, 253 assists. McDry, thank you for the vote. Thank you for the vote, man. Hopefully you're voting for me. But yeah, that's Justin Schultz, guys. I like Justin Schultz's game. I honestly do, man. And I think it would be pretty cool if the Oilers decided to pick him up. But that's my take. That's my take. A lot of people, if you look at Tyson Barrie's stats now, here, they're actually a bit more enticing. They're actually a bit more... Actually, sorry. Let's look at Justin Schultz's career here. So let's have a look here. So you can see at the very top, not much time with the Edmonton Oilers. I think there was a year before that that got cut off. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins, a decent career with the Pittsburgh Penguins, as you can see. Not too many goals, but I mean, that's common for a defenseman. Quite a few assists when he was a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins. A decent career with the Washington Capitals as well, too. Seattle Kraken regressed a little bit. Actually, you know what? His numbers aren't bad when you compare his last 2 years with the Kraken compared to the Pittsburgh Penguins at that time. So I think Justin Schultz has still got a lot left to give. He's not that old. He's still sort of a young guy. And I think Justin Schultz would slot in pretty well with the Edmonton Oilers. Yes, this is Justin Schultz we're talking about. Martin Bouchard, we understand. We get it, okay? You love Stuart Skinner. We understand. Stop spamming the live saying this. We understand you want to profess your love for Stuart Skinner. We understand. Enough. We get it. Yaro Munaz, what's going on? I'm him. Thank you for joining the live. Guys, make sure you like on the live. We're at a standstill of about 1,600 likes. So if you're enjoying the live, you know what to do, man. Make sure you like the live. And if you're brand new, or if you're always tuning in for the lives, hey, please make sure you show your support by going ahead, clicking on the follow button right at the very top, and showing your support for the absolute best Edmonton Oilers TikTok live channel on the face of the planet. There ain't nobody better than this channel. So make sure you tune in and support this channel by following the channel. And if you really want to support, you know what you can do. You can subscribe to the channel for as little as $3 today. $3, man. Jordan Thomas, you think any other RFA players get offer sheeted this offseason or not? That's a great question by Jordan Thomas. Now listen, man, that's a fantastic question because the St. Louis Blues set the precedent, man. They went out there, they saw the Oilers were in a vulnerable position with their salary cap issue. If you don't think the St. Louis Blues were looking at that, dude, of course they were. It was a genius. It was a brilliant move if they wanted to land those two. I think they knew. They make the price that high, Oilers aren't going to match them. They're already in a cap crunch situation, and they said let's do it. So other teams look around, they say, man, look at the St. Louis Blues. They probably overpaid. They obviously overpaid on Broberg, a little bit on Dylan Holloway, but they picked up some great players. And depending on how the St. Louis Blues do this year, if they're a Stanley Cup contending team, dude, of course, other teams are going to take notice of that and try the same thing. And listen, people say the offer sheet thing, oh, the Oilers are going to be out to get the Blues. The St. Louis Blues, Doug Armstrong and Peter Chiarelli aren't making any friends in the league. Hey, whatever, man. Listen, this is coming from an Oilers fan. It was well within the confines of the rules for them to do that. There is no unwritten rule of not doing that to show respect for the other teams. There's nothing like that, man. You'd like to think so, but that's just because nobody's taken the opportunity to do stuff like that, right? So I think it was a brilliant move on Doug Armstrong and Pete Chiarelli. I applaud them bitterly, but it is what it is. So do I think other teams are going to do this? Yeah, absolutely, man. I think we are going to see some other teams make the move because they were successful. They were successful doing it. They didn't only pull it off with one guy. They did it with two guys from the same team at the same time. So, yeah, I do expect more of those things to happen. Kubra Media, got Ty Emerson in my fantasy draft keeper league. Dude throws tons of hits. Interesting. Ty Emerson. So there you go, man. Looks like a guy that's going to knock some bodies out there. Says, do you think the defense is going to be good this year? Well, that's actually what we're discussing. And right now it's a bit of a question mark. We're trying to find out who you think the Oilers should pick up because obviously they're going to bring somebody in for a PTO is what it's sounding like. We don't know this for sure, but I think perhaps they are in negotiations with this former Edmonton Oiler. You can see him above my head. He went to the Nashville Predators. Autumn Falls, thank you, Geriatric Dave. Geriatric Dave, that's my brother right there, man. The #1 subscriber on this channel, the longest subscriber on this channel, Geriatric Dave. Always a pleasure to have you, sir. And with the Autumn Falls, he takes over the lead in the live. You can see him right up at the top. 999 points to my dog right there, Geriatric Dave. And he also extends his 1-month subscription. That's what I'm talking about. Bro. Good to see you, Geriatric Dave. Hey, man, now you have the ability to join the live as well, too. Would love to have you on the show and hear your thoughts. If you feel like sending a request to join the show, please make sure you go ahead and do so. Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. But yeah, we were just talking about Tyson Barrie here. I wouldn't be upset if the Oilers gave Tyson Barrie another shot. I just feel like Justin Schultz is a better fit for the Edmonton Oilers at this point right now. But have a look. This was his season with the Nashville Predators, and he didn't play half of it. I don't know if there was injury trouble or he was a healthy scratch. I'm not sure. 1 goal, 14 assists for 15 points, a -10 in only 41 games with the Nashville Predators. Overall, this guy's got 505 points in 809 games. A disgusting -76 does not look good for Tyson Barrie there. And I think that's why a lot of people aren't sure about Tyson Barrie because he is a great puck-moving defenseman. He was the quarterback on the Oilers' power play for the few years that he played with us and did a great job at that. Let's be honest, Evan Bouchard's way better. But the problem with Tyson Barrie, also would turn over the puck. That was his issue. He would turn over the puck quite a bit as well too, and obviously you can see the stat right there, -76. Now people say plus minus is a stupid stat. It doesn't mean anything. No, it does mean something. It definitely does. If your minus looks that bad, yeah, it's not good. For some defensemen though, if you're on bad teams, that number is thrown off just a little bit if you're on bad teams. But Tyson Barrie spent the majority of his career on the Colorado Avalanche, which, yeah, I guess at that time they weren't very good. And Toronto Maple Leafs. Oilers, first couple of years, floundering a little bit, and then Oilers found a way to turn it around. Tyson Barrie was there for some good times. And then going to the Nashville Predators, who were an okay team. They're definitely going to be a contender this year, picking up Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault. Very interesting to see what the Nashville Predators do. But in my opinion, Tyson Barrie would be an okay pickup for the Oilers, but he would not be my first pick. Let's just show you the rest of his stats here. before we bring on our first guest. Who wants to join the show here? Let's see here. We got good. We got Geriatric Dave wants to join the show. We got other subscribers. We got Lynn's here. Lynn's the historian, and we got Teresa Marie as always here. So quite a few subscribers on the show. We're gonna bring on Geriatric Dave in just a moment. But yeah, have a look here, guys. So there's his stats. Colorado Avalanche by far probably the best time in Tyson Barrie's career. Well, you could argue the Edmonton Oilers as well too. That 56 games there, that was during the abbreviated season during the COVID era. 48 points in 56 games for Tyson Barrie. I think he led the league actually. Led all defensemen that year. 8 goals and 40 assists for Tyson Barrie, so a very good year for him. And the year after that, not so bad either. 7 goals, 34 assists. And his final year before he was traded to the Nashville Predators, dude, Tyson Barrie was actually doing pretty good. He was actually doing pretty good with the Oilers, so I think that's why there was a little bit of a shock when we traded him and a first-round pick to the Nashville Predators, but it proved to pay off in dividends because the Mattias Ekholm, the Viking bro, was definitely worth every single penny. He was worth that draft pick for sure, and he's going to be a big part of the reason why the Oilers bring home a Stanley Cup in 2025, and you never know. Could you imagine the Oilers go up against the Nashville Predators in the Western Conference Final with Mattias Ekholm and Tyson Barrie both playing their former team? Could you imagine? Could you imagine if that were to happen? Teresa Marie, thank you for the lovely roses. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, that being said, let's catch up with my dog right here, Geriatric Dave. Listen, Geriatric Dave and the rest of the subscribers, you know what to do. Click on that subscription button and you can join the show. Geriatric Dave, what's going on, bro?
Not too much. How about yourself?
Hey, not too much, man. Just talking some Oilers. Trying to be a little more consistent with the TikTok lives here. It's just with all this recent news about the offer sheets, and I just been on a little bit of a roll. So I was like, you know what? I got to keep this going, man. I've been a little quiet. So what's going on with you, bro?
Oh, just wrapping up summer, but I wanted to touch on a couple things.
Yes, let's hear it.
One thing I see is people that are around the NHL roasting the Oilers for not keeping Holloway and Broberg. Now, on the flip side, you have 2 players that played phenomenally in the playoffs, but when they were given the opportunity during the regular season, it seemed like they weren't quite there. Now, to fork out $4.5 million per player on an unproven set of games is not good money spent at all. So I think the Oilers came out ahead in this because, one, they didn't have to offer contracts to them.
Yeah.
I think they came out on top on this one. And
really?
I guess only time is honestly going to tell when or if the Broberg or Holloway pans out to be good. I shouldn't say good players. They are good players. Worth their $4.5 million, right?
Yeah.
I think the Oilers came out on top on that one. Honestly, we don't have the cap space, right? And realistically, it's not a good offer for first year players, right?
Yeah.
Now onto the Tyson Barrie thing. The Tyson Barrie thing, I think, would be a huge pickup for 2 reasons. One, Bouchard is finally starting to figure out how to get a puck past the first defender. Okay?
Yeah.
What did Tyson Barrie do so well on that first power play unit? He got it past the first defender, and 9 times out of 10 got it on net. So having the ability to switch out Bouchard or Tyson Barrie on the power play is huge.
Interesting.
It's huge. You wouldn't have to roll that 6'4" one defenseman on the power play. You could essentially have 2 defensemen that play like forwards, right? That's huge. Not only that, then you got the depth as well.
Yeah, I hear you. So what are you saying? You're saying, are you saying that Tyson Barrie would be on the second power play unit, or if things aren't going well, you keep that first power play unit rolling and you swap out Bush with Barrie?
I say you just roll with the dice, right? roll with the ebbs and flow. Players go on a dry spell, swap them out in and out there or there. But then again, Tyson Barrie on the second unit. How many times last year we see that first unit power play just not pan out, right?
Yeah.
Teams have figured out how to defend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that second unit did not terrible actually. So to have another offensive defenseman on a second unit power play was a no-brainer to me. And for what he would probably get offered, probably 1-2 mil, something like that.
I think at this point right now, I don't know, Dave. Like I look at these guys, and all these names are actually notable names. Notable names like I know Shattenkirk, I know Scandella, D'Angelo, Giordano, Barry, Schultz. I look at these names and I'm like, I honestly can't believe that some of these names are still available. It's shocking to me.
I think that has a lot to do with the asking prices, though.
Yeah.
I think players are overvalued right now. I honestly do. I think that once the league or once GMs and teams realize that some of these players' values have been overinflated because of, let's just say, some stupid GMs, right? I think once we come back to reality and be like, okay, yeah, you're not worth that $8 million a year. You're not. I think we've overvalued defensemen, and then you look at like Cale Makar, right?
Well, you're gonna pay whatever the asking price is for that guy.
Exactly. He's worth that dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these players need to realize they're not a Cale Makar. Mm-hmm. They're not Pedersen, right? They're not those star defensemen that you're looking for.
Do you think these guys could maybe argue a case when they see what Philip Broberg got paid to go to St. Louis?
That is all 100% a shakedown, though, right? That's 100% a GM taking advantage of a situation where they have the cap space to do what they want. That's 100% just a power move, right? That's smart power move, and kudos to Blues for doing it, right?
Yeah.
You had the cap space, you had the power to do it. So what's holding you back? But that's what I mean about setting a precedent. Are those players worth that $4.5 million? No, probably not. But only time is going to tell. It's kind of like the Darnell Nurse situation. At that time, the defensemen were valued at $9 million a year because that's what defensemen were going for, because the league didn't have defensemen.
And he finished in the top 3 that year for points wise as well too. That year, I was like, finally, because I always knew Darnell Nurse had talent. I was like, he's a first round pick, drafted 7th overall, whatever it was. And I'm like, when is this guy gonna break through the glass ceiling? And it was that last year of his contract, his entry level contract, or whatever it was, where they had to re-sign him and extend him. And it's okay, look, Darnell Nurse is the defenseman that we all thought he was, and then all of a sudden, he just kind of fell off, man. And during this time, he actually did have a career year as well too, but nobody talks about that.
No, nobody does. And nobody also talks about the fact that Darnell Nurse plays against the top unit of every top team every single night, and he takes it with strides. He actually, I think he's one of the top. And most people, like you just said, points don't matter, or plus minus don't matter. It's not a stat worth looking into. But you look at, I'm pretty sure Darnell Nurse finished close to the top in plus minus, if I'm not mistaken.
I know this year was a little rough for him, but the year before he was actually at the top. So I have to double check that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people say it's a whatever stat. I've always believed in that stat. I used to play hockey too. I understand it. If you're on the ice and you get scored on, it's not a good thing, bro. That's a direct correlation for what it means. You know what I mean? It's if you're on the ice more when you score, and you saw Evan Bouchard's number go up because he started scoring more, especially when it came to the power play. And Matthias Ekholm, having a great line mate like Matthias Ekholm out there. Can you imagine if they decide to play Matthias Ekholm with Darnell Nurse? What do you think would happen?
I don't think that's a smart move because Matthias allows Bouchard to play Bouchard,
Yeah, that's a
allows
good
Bouchard
point.
to be aggressive, allows Bouchard to do those sidestep plays that he does, allows him to be, I don't even know what the word is, allows him to be flashy, I guess it would be,
Yeah.
and try something that he hasn't done before, like during the playoffs. How many times we see him go around that first defender, right?
Yeah.
Matthias allowed him to do that. So I don't.
He's just basically there to, back him up, right? But I think he's also training Evan Bouchard to be a better defenseman as well too. And you got to give credit to Paul Coffey as well to improving his game. I just really hope, if there's a player that really needs to step it up this year for the Edmonton Oilers, despite what the Oilers need to fill on defense right here, Darnell Nurse has to step up. He really does, man. He's got to step up in a huge way. He's getting paid too much money. Everybody knows that. Everybody wants to say we need to trade Darnell Nurse, but all these so-called general managers don't understand that he gets paid too much and nobody wants that contract. It's not like they can buy him out either. It's
No.
just way too much money.
So my question to you is: he an offensive defenseman or a defensive defenseman, or is he a shutdown defenseman?
Darnell Nurse?
Yes.
I thought at one time he checked all three boxes, man, because that's what you saw from him in the year where he earned that contract initially, right? And then
So does
just in the
Nurse-
past years, it's like, okay, you see shades of him carrying the puck. You see shades of him being super aggressive and dropping the mitts. You see shades of him making good defensive plays. So he needs to check all those boxes once again. I just don't feel like he's been doing that.
Okay, so I can see what the argument would be with playing with Ekholm. Okay, I understand that. So, what was I going to say now?
But all I was trying to say was just imagine if Ekholm played with Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse would have that ability to skate like we've seen him skate before. Maybe he would take more of those chances, you know what I mean? Whereas now, he's paired up with Cody Ceci, now Brett Kulak. He realizes he's got to be a stay-at-home defenseman. He can rush the puck from time to time, but he's got to get back there because if he makes one turnover, all of Oilers Nation is going to be on him like they always are. So I think it's just mentally, I think Darnell Nurse is having a hard time. He knows everybody's on his case. So he doesn't take all those offensive flashes that you're used to seeing him take. Because at one point, Darnell Nurse was like that, man. And that's why I was like, you know what? It's only a matter of time before this guy, shoots off, man. You know what I mean? And he did do that when he got that contract. And then after that, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the pressure of how big that contract was. I don't know, man. So in my opinion, he's a guy that needs to step up. Obviously, you don't want to take away Matthias Ekholm from Evan Bouchard because those guys are amazing together. But I'm just wondering if you put Matthias Ekholm with Darnell Nurse, it just makes me wonder what would happen. Maybe but I think Evan Bouchard's game would drop off a lot if you take off Ekholm.
So that being said, this is what my argument was going to be. Do you think Darnell Nurse would perform on the power play?
That was kind of my argument before when Tyson Barrie wasn't getting the job done because he was quarterbacking that power play, on the first power play unit. This is before the Evan Bouchard years, right?
Right. Yeah.
I was like, why don't they put Darnell Nurse on because he does play the second power play unit, but he gets like how much ice time? He gets like 10 seconds, whatever's left of the power play. They throw him out there because Darnell Nurse has got a heavy shot. He's got a quick release as well too, and I don't know. I thought he could have been effective out there, but as soon as he's seen Evan Bouchard out there, you really didn't think of anybody else.
Right. I wonder if that has a lot to do with who's our like number one go-to for penalty kill. Right.
Darnell Nurse.
Darnell Nurse. Yeah.
Darnell Nurse.
So if you have him on a power play for a minute and a half and sometimes even 2 minutes, and then take a penalty. Do you put Bouchard out there to defend?
No, hell no.
No.
Hell no.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of variables at play there, but it'd be something to fool around with in the during the regular season for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. So, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think that they're going to pair up Matthias Ekholm with him. It just makes me wonder. I think you would see Darnell Nurse not make the kind of mistakes you're used to seeing him making because you've got Matthias Ekholm there to back him up, much like he's doing for Evan Bouchard all the time. So, um,
And then one more thing, we got like 8 days or something before like Draisaitl's agent kind of gave the ultimatum, right?
yeah, end of August. That was
Yeah.
the ultimatum that he threw out there. So, what are your thoughts on that, man?
I think there's a team friendly contract coming in with them letting go Holloway and Broberg.
Free up some cap space room.
Yep. I would almost suspect there might be one more move coming.
Yeah, eh? Forwards or defense here?
I think defense.
You think it's one of the six that we're looking at right here?
I wouldn't be surprised if they've approached any of them for a team friendly contract at a chance at a cup, right? Any of those guys have Giordano's won a cup, right? Yeah.
I don't think so. Has Giordano won a cup? I don't think so.
Which one of those of those six would you take?
I've been saying Justin Schultz for the past couple of weeks on these lives. I've been talking about Justin Schultz, and then I look on social media now. Guess who everybody's talking about? They're talking about Justin Schultz. I said him from the beginning. A lot of people always been saying Tyson Barrie, but Justin Schultz has been available this whole time, and I just think he fits the bill a lot more for the Edmonton Oilers. Both of these guys are great stories. I mean, to come back to the Oilers, finish the job. Justin Schultz seems like forever ago during the decade of darkness.
Yeah.
But I think you wipe his slate clean. He's proven to be a Stanley Cup champion. Tyson Barrie, on the other hand, wanted to finish the story with the Oilers in the first place, so it'd be kind of cool for him to come back. And I was just saying before you got on the show, could you imagine the Oilers end up bringing back Tyson Barrie? Oilers go on to the Western Conference Final, and guess who they face? The Nashville Predators. Matthias Ekholm and Tyson Barrie facing their former team. What a story that would be. And of course, we know the end result of that. The Oilers would go on to win the Stanley Cup afterwards. Whoever that may be from the East. A few people saying the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers biting at the bit for quite some time. That team continues to get better year after year. Before I let you go and bring on Teresa Marie, Jerry at Rick Dave, who do you see the Oilers facing in the Stanley Cup Final next year? I don't think I'm getting too far ahead of myself here. Am I?
No. I'd be leery of Carolina, honestly.
Carolina. You know, what a story. You want to talk about stories, bro. 2006. I never forget it, man. I never forget it. 2006. Unbelievable, man. Oilers came back from 3-1. Dude, they came back from 3-0 against the Florida Panthers. I would love to see that rematch against the Carolina Hurricanes and rewrite history. Oilers win the Stanley Cup against them. Man, I hope so. I hope so, bro.
Yeah, I could see Carolina. Carolina is one of those teams that kind of fly under the radar and surprise you, right? And they're a deep team, right?
They are, man. Wasn't there a former Oiler that went there? Am I thinking about Ethan Bear? I don't know if he's still there or not. I don't think so.
No, isn't I want to say Pugliarvi. Yeah, Pugliarvi there. Isn't that where he's at?
Did he go to Carolina? I thought it was Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think he got traded to Carolina though.
Ah, interesting. But yeah, man. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Sorry. Who are you saying that the Oilers pick up here? You think it's going to be who? Barrie?
I think it's going to if it's going to be any of them, I think it's going to be Barrie because I think Barrie would take a team friendly contract just to come back to Edmonton, and play in Edmonton again. I honestly believe that. The other players, I think they're asking probably more than what the Oilers can give.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if their character says that they'd take a team friendly contract, right?
Yeah.
That a heritage or that friendship within the organization isn't built with those other players, right? Although I would love to see Justin Schultz over Barrie.
That's what I'm hoping for, man. I'm telling you, you guys heard it first on this live. I've been saying it for weeks. Schultz is coming back home. He's not coming back to the decade of darkness. There's light now. There's light at the end of the tunnel. in 2025. Oilers are going to lift the Stanley Cup with Justin Schultz. He's going to be a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. And third time is going to be with the Edmonton Oilers, man. That's what I think is going to happen, bro.
And who knows? Maybe our GM's got another trick up his sleeve where he can pull maybe 2 of those players in, right?
Could you imagine? I mean, that would be
Stanley
huge.
Cup team to play on. Yeah, I would take it in a heartbeat for a mil.
But you know what, Dave? I think Ty Emberson's going to be a pleasant surprise for the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah, I mean, you see this guy's stats: 10 points in 30 games with the San Jose Sharks and a -4. That's it.
Have you seen him skate?
Good skater.
Very good skater. Very good edge work.
I hear he dishes out the pain as well too. Big hitter too.
Yes. I think that's what we lacked last year is a lot of upfront size. And
Does it surprise you that Mike Guerrier traded him straight up for Cody Ceci? Well, he took a draft pick with him as well too.
Right.
So,
no, I think there might have been like a friendship, like a handshake kind of deal there, right?
Yeah.
Amongst GMs.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, that I was going to ask you, do you watch the Oil Drop?
I haven't, bro. I'm missing out. Eh?
You need to watch the Oil Drop. It is unbelievable what goes on behind the scenes that we as fans don't even have a friggin' clue of what goes on. The amount of there's a point last year when I was watching the Oil Drop during the off season where Ken Holland had 9 phones going off at the same time, and he's trying to negotiate deals. Not to mention the landlines and the emails and whatnot all coming in. It's wild what goes on behind the scenes.
Dude, I would. I gotta watch it for sure, man. I keep putting it off, and you know what? You make a great point as well too. Because if I watch that, I've got some other content to talk about on these lives, so I gotta look into it. How much is it? Is it like $3 to subscribe per month or something?
Hit me up. I'll send you my login info.
Will do. Thanks a lot, Dave. Thanks a lot, Dave. Pleasure having you on the show, man. Good to hear from you, man.
No problem. I'm kind of glad I'm not banned as much anymore. I only got a 20-year ban, so.
I don't know. You got that 20-year ban went by pretty fast, eh?
I'm still banned. I can't. If I was told that if I post any more Trudeau videos that are in negative nature, my account's gone.
Don't do it anymore, man. Don't do it anymore. We know how you feel, man. Let's be honest. We know how most of the world, most of the nation feels. But yeah, I don't know, man. Cool your jets on that stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been posting nearly as much.
I mean, you can still post, but I don't know. Try something else, man. Why don't you post some Oilers content like me, bro?
Maybe I'll start posting some rig content.
Sure.
Well, alrighty, Stu. I'm going to take off. You have yourself a great night, and I'll see if I can get on some more of these lives.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, buddy. God bless, man.
Laters.
Talk to you later, bro. That's Geriatric Dave. That's my dog right there. Always got a soft spot for Geriatric Dave. He was the one that made me believe, bro, on this show. He was the first subscriber ever on this show. I never understood why people would subscribe to the channel until Geriatric Dave subscribed to the channel. So that's just a message to all of you, bro. If you're ever thinking about going live and you don't think people will subscribe, well, no one will subscribe unless you believe, man. All it takes is one person to believe in you, and it should start with yourself, man. If you want to go out there and do it. So I highly encourage, man, if you've been thinking about it, if you got something good to talk about. And there's the Dancing Beaver, Geriatric Dave, keeping up with the gifts on the channel. But yeah, man, it starts with yourself, man. Believe in yourself. Go out there and do it. And if you're passionate about something, just go out there and talk about it, man. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. If you talk about it and you're good about it, the people will come. The people will come, as you can see on this live. Not as many people as we're used to, but when the regular season, the playoffs start, we've got hundreds of people, sometimes in the thousands, especially during the playoffs. We had quite a few people on these lives. And Geriatric Dave with the W coin. Braden, we love you too, buddy. And Braden, we would love to have you on the show, but as Teresa Marie told you, you have to be a subscriber on the channel to join the show. Speaking of which, She's the next guest we're going to bring on the show. This is going to be her first appearance on the show, so I'm excited for this. Let's bring on Teresa Marie for the very first time. We're making history on the Stuart for Real TikTok live channel. What do you subscribe on, Braden? You have to be 18, Braden, to subscribe to the channel. You just click on that yellow button. Subscribe. Teresa Marie.
Hi. Hold
How
on.
are you?
Trying to figure this. I'm good. My first time on here.
Good for you. I'm glad you decided to pick me up on it. I'm not trying to push you guys. You understand that, but I want to make sure you're taking advantage of your subscription because this is part of the services, you know.
I'm not gonna be like Maj and them. Hi. Hi guys. I'm not like Maj and them that are like detailed into sports because I only watch one team. That's about it.
There you go. Well, you're only watching the team that matters, the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
So, Teresa Marie, what are your thoughts here? Who do you think the Oilers should pick up when you look at these defensemen here?
There's only one guy, Schultz.
Justin Schultz. Why Justin Schultz?
I don't know. I just feeling some good vibes about him. Just like, I don't know. I just going by my gut instincts.
Me
I
as
think
well,
he
too.
should be the one.
I
always
agree
follow
with you.
my gut instincts.
Schultz has got to be the guy, and I always tell everybody as well to follow your gut. Follow your gut. If something tells you, don't try and fight it and change your mind. I'm going with Justin Schultz because a former Edmonton Oiler. And Teresa Marie, I don't know how long you've been an Oiler fan for, but do you remember the Decade of Darkness?
I've been an Oilers fan since 1979.
So you remember
one.
the Decade of Darkness for sure.
I was 9 years old when I started liking the Oilers. When Gretzky became part of the team when he was 18, I had a huge crush on him when I was 9. He was my big crush back then.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, I lived in Edmonton during those days. So I have lots of memories. And I haven't stopped loving the Oilers since. So through the dark days, through the good days, no matter what, I stick by them, no matter.
Oilers for life. Oilers for life. I love
Oilers
that
for life.
because
And I have this too. I got to show you something that I forgot that I had.
Oh, and I got the same thing. Oh, actually, no, I got a Nugent Hopkins one, I think. I got that from Timmy's, right?
Yeah, a long time ago. I found it in my suitcase.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going on my desk at work on Monday.
Wicked. Yeah, I got some Oilers stuff at my work as well too in my office there. Everybody knows all my staff always get me Oilers stuff on my birthdays and stuff. They know I'm just diehard Oilers fan like you.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you know what? I mean, during the Decade of Darkness, it was tough. It was tough to be an Oilers fan, but that's how you know you're talking to an Oilers fan because you stick with the team through the dark times. It was difficult. It was very, very frustrating, but I couldn't help. I had to watch the games, but there were some times where the Oilers were just getting blown out of the water, and I couldn't even watch the rest of the game. I would just turn it off. It was so humiliating to watch at that time, but we stuck through it. So for all the fans out there that aren't Oiler fans and say, "Oh, how many first-round draft picks you're going to get, blah, 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 you haven't won." Listen, we're so close right now. We're so close right now. And we do deserve it. We do deserve it to be able to stick with a team through all that. We deserve it. We deserve it. I don't care what anybody else has to say. We deserve it.
Yes. You know what's really funny? I just moved back to Alberta like 3 months ago, just in time for all this. And I was telling everybody out there, I was telling people out in Ontario, like a lot of my friends and stuff, that's like, I'm leaving at the end of May. Wouldn't it be funny if the Oilers end up going to the Stanley Cup and I'm back in Alberta at the same time? And exactly what happened. I come home and the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup playoffs and the final and everything.
Well, just watch. This upcoming year, you're going to see them finish the story and win a Stanley Cup. But I guess you've been around for the Stanley Cup run. You were there for the dynasty years, hey?
That, and I was also living in Edmonton back in 2006 when they were playing against the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
My son was a child. We were down every time they won the game. We would be throughout the whole entire playoffs. We'd jump in our car. We didn't care what time it was. We would hit Jasper Avenue, White Avenue, waving our flags around, honking the horn. Yeah, I miss those days.
I do as well too. I remember like it was yesterday, 06 for that Stanley Cup run. I was just like, I think it was just 1 year out of high school. So I remember all of it on White Avenue, but I think the times have died down on White Ave. I don't think it's the same like it was. I think all that has moved over to Jasper Ave downtown in the Ice District now.
Okay, I haven't been back to Edmonton since I left. That was back in 2012. So,
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, I don't know how long you've been following the channel,
Yeah.
but I was there doing interviews with Sports Interaction
Yes.
for all the games. So, and now I'm doing them for the Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Elks. So, speaking of which, I will be at the Calgary Stampeders game doing the interviews, guys. Doing the interviews. So, if you want to come find me, if you want to get in on the show and get in on an interview, bro, just come and find me at McMahon Stadium and probably Commonwealth as well too. For that for those games. So, Teresa Marie, you got any other questions or any other points you want to bring up for the audience today?
No, I think Dre's going to be signing on. I have a good feeling he's not going anywhere. He's staying.
How much do you think he signs? How much do you think he signs for, Teresa Marie?
I don't know. God, that's a big question. I hope whatever they offer him, I hope he says yes and he's happy and that he wants to stay here, stay with McDavid, build a legacy, be that part of that team that brings home the cup, say, yes, I stay with stuff. The thing I'm going to say is that Broberg and Holloway, I think what they did was stupid. They're going to regret it. I'll tell you something. They went from, they want to win a cup. Is it a cup that you really want or is it the money? Because you guys went and took off for the money. You guys went from, you left a team that's that close to getting a cup to a team that's probably not going to make it to the wild card position.
Yeah.
So now they're further away from winning the cup.
Yeah.
If they should have said, you know what, we're going to take a lesser pay and stay. I would have stayed with the Oilers and take less money. I'd rather win the cup and have a championship under me.
Right.
Right.
You know what? It's a good point. Valid point. I think Broberg saw the money. He got offered quadruple the money. I mean, $4 million is a lot. $8 million is a lot of money. $4 million per year. And I think he's like, you know what? I'm not even hesitating. I'm signing this. Meanwhile, Dylan Holloway, that's the questionable one for me because he couldn't agree on a number with Stan Bowman and the Edmonton Oilers organization. They're probably offering him $1.1 million. He wanted more. And here come the St. Louis Blues. Well, you know what? Better yet, we'll more than double it for you. We'll give you $2.4 million, $4.8 million, close to $5 million over 2 years. What do you say? And you know what? Dylan Holloway could have waited it out. He could have waited it out, and you could see how depressed he was. From one of my latest lives, I think you were there for it, Teresa Marie.
Yeah.
But I just uploaded a portion of that. So if you haven't seen the video, guys, I highly recommend you check it out. Speaking of which, that's a reminder to everybody. All of these lives will now be exclusive on YouTube for you. So if you joined the show a little bit later and you you missed out on some of the action when we started the live, you can go to my YouTube page, youtube.com/@StewartForReal. The link is right on my TikTok profile there. You can click on it. Subscribe to the channel. And guess what? To subscribe on YouTube, it's free. Free 99, does not cost you anything. So like I said, if you missed out on these lives, I upload them to YouTube afterwards, so you can go there and watch it. So this one with Teresa Marie and Geriatric Dave will be on YouTube that you can check out later.
And make sure you guys take the diamond because you get all those fun things that I'm missing out.
Did TikTok get back to you, Teresa Marie?
No. But
shoot.
you know what? The subscription runs out in a month, right?
So just let it run out. Just let it run out.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, don't do the renewal, and then you can select that afterwards. I think you should be okay.
That's what I'm planning on. That's what I'm gonna do. See, those are the cool things I want.
And I'm going to be adding to that. Geriatric Dave showing you what's available. Linz is actually the best at using it. He knows how to use these very effectively. But yeah, those are some of the emotes that you can use as a diamond subscriber on the channel. Well, Teresa Marie,
subscribes.
Thank you so much for joining the show. I appreciate you joining and getting over the nerves and joining the show for the first time. I appreciate it.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
All right, that's Teresa Marie, one of the most loyal supporters on this channel. Her first time on the live, she did a tremendous job. So guys, if you'd like to be like Teresa Marie and Geriatric Dave, very, very simple. Click on that subscription button, the gold button next to the live chat where you're putting in all of your comments. if you're 18 years of age or older. And listen, man, you don't have to do the renewal like we just talked about. You can subscribe just for 1 month just to check it out, just for as little as $3, man. That's all it costs you, just $3. You spend $3 on coffee every single day. Spend it on live, man, and have some fun in this live so you can join the show. Let's get to some more questions here. I think I've caught up with all the questions. Geriatric Dave, thanks a lot, buddy. I will check out that Oilers Plus. I appreciate you sharing that with me, man. Chucky says, Montreal for the Cup. Yeah, in your dreams, bro. Montreal Canadiens, no doubt, most winningest team in history for the Stanley Cup. 24 Stanley Cups for the Montreal Canadiens, but they're not going to win the Stanley Cup next year. Everybody has fun in this live, Teresa Marie, or at least I'd like to think so. I know you do. I could tell how much fun you have on this live, so I appreciate all the big time supporters on this channel, especially the subscribers on the channel. You guys mean a lot to me, man. AN 1983 Shattenkirk for $1.75 million. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. And you know what? I think Geriatric Dave had a very good point on this live earlier. He said, you know what? I think all these defensemen are probably lobbying for too much money, and that's why they haven't been signed. And at this point, these guys are going to be lucky to earn themselves a PTO with any team in the league at this point to continue their career. So maybe it's greed trying to get the best of them at this point. They need a job. They still want to play in the NHL. So obviously they may be asking for too much money, and they're going to have to rely on a PTO to join a team here. So 19 scaling back. I don't think Justin will want to come back to Edmonton. I don't know. I'd like to think it's water under the bridge. I'd like to think he's moved on. The Oilers are a winning team now. They're not in the decade of darkness. And you know what? As much as I love Oiler fans, man, Oiler fans can turn on you just like that. They booed Justin Schultz out of town. They booed Jordan Eberle out of town. And for all you guys saying, no, we didn't boo. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. You booed him out of town. You know you did. And maybe that's why they don't want to return. Who knows? But I'd like to think Justin Schultz is over it. He went on to go win a Stanley Cup and prove that he was a good defenseman. Of course, going to the Pittsburgh Penguins probably helped. But now he's got a great opportunity to win a Stanley Cup again with the Edmonton Oilers. Granted that the Edmonton Oilers are actually considering a guy like Justin Schultz to come back. Brown Sugar, what's going on? F4043 Canucks 2025 Stanley Cup champions. What the hell are you talking about? No way, Jose. That's never going to happen. Teresa Marie says, one of our subscribers says, remember Mike Comrie? He got booed, came back. Fans loved him again. Yes, that's a great point by Teresa Marie. Mike Comrie, also one of those guys. And Comrie's situation was even worse. Remember, he sat out. He kind of pulled the, what's the guy on the Leafs now? I'm forgetting his name. Tremendous player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Did the same thing. Sat out until he got the number that he wanted. And Nylander sat out, and then when he rejoined the team, he was playing terrible. And then the year after that, Nylander was basically worth the money that he signed for. So that's the move Comrie pulled, and a lot of people hated him for that. And it didn't even work out for Comrie in the end. He ended up coming back later. Geriatric Dave, one of our diamond subscribers, says Oil Country has some of the most critical fans out there. I agree. Thomas, can you move your head for 2 seconds? Well, Thomas, that depends. Are you following the channel? Thomas? 19 Skillingbeck. Who's the youngest guy here? That's a great question. You know what? It looks like Tyson Barrie's probably the youngest guy, but I have no idea. Lord Strata wants to know Boston Pizza or Earl's. I love both those places. I'm not sure. You can go to either or. Benny Green 93. These are good 7 to 8 depth guys. Teresa Marie says Oiler fans are just passionate. I agree with this. We definitely are passionate. Let's see. Who else do we have on this live here that I can call out that's watching? Lots of new people. Guys, listen, if you're brand new to the channel, please do yourself a favor. Go ahead, click on the follow button right at the very top as I'm getting ready to wrap up the show here. Zach the Leafs fan says, you can't go wrong with Boston Pizza. I agree with that. 19 Skillingbeck, thank you. I see that follow. Listen, guys, if you want to be co, like 19 Skillingbeck, you know what to do, man. Click on that follow button right at the very top and make sure you show your support. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click on the subscribe button, and it's free. It's free to do so on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate your support so we can continue to grow the channel, not only on YouTube, but on TikTok as well too. And listen, if you want to get in your comments on the questions on the live, very simple. You gotta join on TikTok here. It's very simple. Go to TikTok. You can join the live. I do my best to go on every day, and you can ask these questions live as we talk to hundreds of people all at the same time. I do my best to get to these. And Teresa Marie, letting everybody know what subscription package they should select on TikTok, the Diamond package. El Curdy, lots of veteran players, not always a good thing. I don't know about that, El Curdy. How is it not always a good thing? I mean, you look at the Edmonton Oilers. They went to the Stanley Cup final. They were only 2 shots away from winning the Stanley Cup. So I think having a good veteran team, great leadership, goes a long way with the Edmonton Oilers. They didn't finish the job, but most definitely they will in 2025. Geriatric Dave, thank you for the lovely rose, buddy. I appreciate that. We got Geriatric Dave and Teresa Marie leading the live. Guys, if you want to be at the top of the live, you got to send gifts this way. That's how Geriatric Dave and Teresa Marie have earned their spots up at the top of the live. Clayton Panther, what's your thoughts on Pietrangelo, however you spell it? What are my thoughts on him? Well, definitely the Oilers don't want to sign him considering what he did to Leon Draisaitl. But I'm assuming he's still with the Vegas Golden Knights. Geriatric Dave, Diamond subscriber says, let's go, guys. Just sub in. Telling you, Stu will be a commentator for the Oil via Sportsnet or Oilers. You heard it here first from my dog right there, Geriatric Dave. That would be amazing, man. That would be amazing if it leads to that one day. I hope it will. I really hope that it will. Surrey Jack, D'Angelo is preferred. Would take a flyer over Schultz. Listen, I'm not denying Tony DeAngelo. So if you're just joining the show right now, I talked about Tony DeAngelo. If you look at the guys that are available here, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think Tony DeAngelo is probably the most talented defenseman in this list. But the dude just has not had a good run on any team as of late. He's obviously got some type of attitude problem. I'm not sure what it is with him, but it hasn't gone well for him. And you know what? I don't. It only takes one rotten apple to spoil the bunch, and that's what I think Tony DeAngelo is. So I'm gonna say ixnay on Tony DeAngelo, in my opinion. Geriatric Dave, I'm still tweeting Bob Stopper and Sportsnet every day. Man, Geriatric Dave, thanks, bro. One day they will listen. Man. We just got to be consistent. And one day, I will not be denied, bro. I will not be denied. Thank you, Geriatric Dave, for doing that, man. It's very kind of you. El Curdy, Leafs not signing Gio. Well, there you go. They are not signing Gio. As you can see, Mark Giordano's still available. So it'd be very surprising to me if they decided to stay with him. El Curdy, thank you for the lovely roses. I appreciate that. They smell so good. El Curdy with 9 roses. Keep it going, El Curdy, and you can catch up to Teresa Marie there. She's sitting there with 140. Geriatric Dave, a Diamond subscriber, says, you and Bieksa would have amazing commentary. You know what? That would be freaking awesome. Kevin Bieksa is great, man. I know some Oiler fans hate Kevin Bieksa because he rips on the Oilers, but I'm like, whatever, man. I mean, it's funny. It's funny, right? You got to make yourself entertaining on the show, and I think Kevin Bieksa really helps the Sportsnet panel. They need more talents like him on the show, and hello, Stuart for real is just waiting for his opportunity. One day it will happen. 19 Skillingbeck, would we take Tyson Barrie? He wasn't bad for us when he played for us. Yeah, you know what? Like I've said it earlier in the start of the show, I would not mind Tyson Barrie. I think he could be a decent addition to the Edmonton Oilers. My first pick, though, is the first guy here. Justin Schultz, I think, is probably the best fit for the Oilers, in my opinion. Sports Guy 88, thank you for sharing the live. But guys, you know what? We're getting a little further down the line here. I appreciate everybody joining the show. I got to upload these shows to YouTube as well, too. So I'm probably going to go ahead and do that right now. It takes quite a bit of time to download the live and get all that stuff done. So, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate all y'all's support. If you're not already following the channel, please make sure you do. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, man, hey, man, take the plunge. Take the plunge. Just try it out for as little as $3 per month on the standard package. Or if you want to have a little more fun, you can spend a couple more dollars on the VIP or Diamond package, the most highly recommended package, because that's the one that everybody takes. Okay, guys, Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Oh, what's this comment by Jerry Everett Dave? George LaRock is hilarious as well. Next time I'm on the live, I'll tell you about the time I partied with him. Oh, that's cool. I would love to hear a big George LaRock story. But that's it for me, guys. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. This is Stuart for Real, signing out.